Hi, everyone. It's Kate from the Morning Ag Clips. And I have with me today Aryn Young from Ambrook. And Ambrook, in case any of you have noticed, is a newer advertiser on the Morning Ag Clips. And I thought it might be nice to highlight them and have Aryn today to tell us a little bit about the services Ambrook offers. So, welcome, Aryn.
Thank you. It's so lovely to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. So tell us a little bit about Ambrook. What services do you offer and when were you founded?
Yeah, so Ambrook is a financial management software for businesses that build and sustain the real economy. So this could be farms, ranches, pretty much any complex or asset heavy operations is really what it's designed for. It brings your bookkeeping, income, expenses, your invoicing, your bill pay, your reporting, and your inventory all into one system. And it was really designed for the owner first. So really designed for owners that are doing their own bookkeeping, making it intuitive for them. Um, we also offer Ambrook Wallet, which is our digital payments product, and a full service tier, which I work on, where
Okay.
our team handles one on one software support and helps producers work through their books. Really, our goal is to give business owners a clear, real time view of their business through financials so that they can make better decisions just on the day to day and really understand their business at a profitability level. Um, to answer your question about when we were founded in 2020 by Mackenzie Burnett, who's our CEO, co-founder Jeff Anders, who leads design, and co-founder Dan Schlosser, who leads product. Mackenzie comes from a USDA family, and so she really cares deeply about the financial and environmental security of our producers. And it's really that mission to build a more prosperous, a more resilient America that is really what our whole company is built around and where we really focus our financial services.
Well, and what I like about it, and it seems to me, is that it's designed specifically for the producer. And,
Yes.
much of the software that farmers, ranchers use today in agriculture is something that's cookie cutter for any business. And I'm specifically thinking
Yeah.
about QuickBooks. Um, you know, so what I love about Ambrook is it's specifically for people in agriculture with farm businesses. And I'm assuming there's some great integrations and classes that are all we're going to recognize as people in agriculture right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, I also come from an agricultural background for the last 12 years. I co-founded and ran a regenerative livestock operation, in addition to having a bookkeeping company and a general excavation land clearing company. So it's
Okay.
been really interesting for me because I've been on both sides of the equation. I've been both the producer that is using these numbers to make decisions. I've also been the bookkeeper that is like trying to make the numbers make sense as part of that financial component. And what really struck me about Ambrook was that it is really designed for not only producers, like how they think about their business, whether that's per field, per head, but it's also designed for how they make decisions about their business. And that was really what struck me was, having run those other businesses, I realized that like there was just a lot of financial tools that were not designed well for those types of decision making.
Mhm.
And work is completely different. It's also really designed so that you don't need to understand every single in and out of double entry accounting in order to get value and use the software well. It's incredibly intuitive, is what I've found for producers that are just in there doing their own books, which makes a huge difference for a lot of people. It's also designed specifically for bookkeeping where you're going to be doing your bookkeeping. So that might be your truck, that might be your field. I've taken meetings with producers and combines, and that is
Yeah.
all like, it's really designed for that flexibility and for people to be able to enter their financial data where they're actually, that day to day operation is occurring.
So it's easy whether you're on your laptop or I'm assuming you can do it from your phone.
Oh, yes, you can.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love
you can do a
that.
lot from your phone.
And of course, I love intuitive because I'm not the most technologically savvy. So that's
Hmm.
important for me. But
Yeah.
the other question that I had was, so for instance, if I'm a dairy farmer and I'm looking at going and having an expansion to my herd, putting on a
Hmm.
parlor, are there specific benchmarks that are specific to a dairy farm that you would be able to pull out of the records that Ambrook is keeping?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ambrook was really designed to be flexible across different producer types. And I work with all kinds of producers, whether that's a dairy operation or a cow-calf operation, or, anybody that's running multiple LLCs, as many farmers do. We've got
Oh
a
my
lot of
goodness,
different
do we? We always have a
people.
lot of things that we're juggling.
A lot of things that you're juggling, yeah. And you need to know how each piece of that business is doing. And so the way Ambrook was designed is that you're able to really slice your data in whatever metric makes sense to you. So you can have different enterprises for different pieces of your business, and then you can add whatever metrics make sense for your production or your system to those enterprises. So that might be per head, that might be per field, that might be per acre. You can make it really flexible and really tuned to your specific operation, which was very important to us because, like you said, there are a lot of financial resources out there that
Right.
don't offer that flexibility. And the result is a really complicated set of chart of accounts, for example, that makes things
Mhm.
convoluted. And the way that Ambrook is designed, it just makes pulling out that per metric profitability and tracking so much easier.
Yes, and I'm assuming that the financial professionals that are working with the farm every day have the ability to go in and easily find what they need so that they can put together taxes, financial reports that are
Right.
important. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, part of this is kind of, the value is twofold. One is that it makes the day-to-day bookkeeping a lot easier. It also makes those business decisions that you're having to make, in real time, month by month or week by week for your business. And then it also makes tax time a lot easier. I hear
Oh,
from a lot of CPAs, having worked on the full service. I either work directly with customer CPAs or we just hear from them around tax time. And, they've expressed a lot of excitement about how much easier it makes that entire process. And obviously, that is a big focus. Not so much right
right,
now this time of year, but towards the end of
right,
the year,
right.
that'll
But
become more and more important.
what I'm hoping is that producers aren't coming out with their shoe boxes and just handing it to the account.
Yeah,
They've been able
exactly.
to put it in all
Right. I
there
mean, the
easily.
more that you make the day-to-day process of the bookkeeping, the accounting possible and intuitive, the less you do have to do that massive catch up at the end of the year. And that's really the goal is like having real-time data so that you can make good decisions about your business, but also making sure that when you get to the end of the year, things are clean enough that it is not, a massive undertaking and you get so much of your day-to-day time back and you get so much of
Right.
your end of year time back. Yeah.
Because it's all that bookkeeping that really
Yeah.
causes yourself challenges. So
Absolutely.
what does your day look like, Aryn? How are you working
Yeah.
with producers?
Yeah, so most of my day is working directly one-on-one with farmers. So usually that's in calls and screen shares, working with them to set up their data in Ambrook or pull reporting pieces out of Ambrook in the most efficient way possible. And those producers are all over the country. They're all different types. Like I mentioned, it could be cow-calf, could be diversified farmers. Most of my days are spent directly in their books with producers and really understanding what questions they have about their business and how we can better model their financial data to answer those questions and stay on top of workflows. One of the things that I really enjoy spending time on is taking a workflow that used to be really complicated in a producer's books and showing them how we can simplify that in Ambrook. And that's always really exciting.
Yeah, isn't it nice when you can actually work with a client and you can see their stress level come down so that
Yeah.
when you started working with them, they were all, just not flowing with their work process and then they come
Yeah.
down and they see over time that wow, this is
Yeah.
easy and it does
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of my favorite moments with producers are exactly what you described. You can almost see that sigh of relief when they realize
yes.
how simple this could be. Um, the other part that I really enjoy is when they see something about their business reflected in their financial data that they weren't able to see before. Or maybe they have a confirmation. They said, I think this is making me money. I think this was a good move. And then they see that reflected in the numbers for the first time.
Mhm.
Or those are those magic moments that just keep me loving my job day to day. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So if you could leave on one note, what would you say to a producer who may be struggling currently with their software that they're using, bookkeeping in general, the day-to-day? What would you say to them? How can Ambrook help?
Yeah, so I think what Ambrook does very well is, again, makes the bookkeeping process intuitive and easy to stay on top of. I see a lot of producers struggle with their financial management or their financial day to day when they're having to carve out a lot of time at the end of the week or at the end of the month to do that catch up that we described.
Yeah.
What Ambrook does really well is it makes that process intuitive and easy to stay on top of within your day to day operation already, so that you have more time to work on your business, which is really what we want. We want to free you up from spending those nights at the kitchen table,
Right.
or,
Okay.
yeah, or those like late nights at the end of the week, sorting through a bunch of receipts.
Yeah.
That is the type of time that we want to give producers back so that they can spend it on their business, on their day to day, and really be involved in the business when it matters the most. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that Ambrook can give people on a day to day reality. And the second would be clarity.
Mm.
Getting your taxes done is wonderful, and it is a very important part of your financial well-being for sure. But it's not the only thing that your finances can give you. And so I think Ambrook really, because it's designed for producers and how they think about their business, it gives them the type of clarity and the information that they're looking for so that they can make day-to-day decisions with finances. And that's the second piece that I would love producers to realize out of Ambrook, and I think makes it very possible.
I love that. Find time and clarity.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that for anybody listening and knows that their current situation isn't easy
Hmm.
and they are considering making a change, it is always daunting to consider taking that leap of faith that what you're going to is
Yes.
better. But I think I personally can say that I haven't met a change yet that wasn't for the
Mm.
better. And sounds like Ambrook would definitely be something worthwhile, worth your time, because you'll get back time and you'll get some clarity to your operation. And that's really
Yep.
what it's all about. So
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you so much, Aryn Young, for joining
Yeah.
us today. And for anybody out there who is struggling with their current bookkeeping situation and software and would like to get some time and clarity, I think you should consider clicking on that Ambrook app or Ambrook ad, which is in your daily morning ag clips, and check it out. Because we want you to succeed as our producers and our readers, and we want Ambrook to succeed as a provider of great service and software for our farmers. So thank you
Great.
so much, everybody. I hope you have a great day. And Aryn, thank you.
Thank you.